But I'm so thrilled tonight to get to introduce you all to my friend Jay Faison. So Jay, I want to first start by asking you about your journey. In 2012, you sold your very successful company, Snap AV, to private equity and decided to embark on a journey as a philanthropist. Tell me a little bit about your decision to devote yourself to making change.
Great. Well, thank you, Kristen. First of all, thank you for the Keystone team here. And thank you for the focus on collaboration. It's something that I'm passionate about. And it's a good change of pace coming from about a couple miles east of here. So thank you.
So tell me then a little bit about your decision to focus specifically on clean energy and why you decided to found ClearPath.
Well, back to the philanthropy question first, but that was really a seminal, I wouldn't say it was a moment for me, it was a process. And, I got out of business school and was super focused on building a business, and we had a blast, or at least that's what you remember. You don't remember all the hard parts, and there were, but the bigger we got and the more fun it was, and we were winning. And I'm proud of what we accomplished there. But one day you sort of wake up and you go, what's the purpose here? We were a leading supplier to audio video installers. Those guys that drive around in trucks, Joe's Audio Video, they come to your house, and you may have one of these houses. They charge you a lot. Sometimes it doesn't all work well. When it works well, it's great. And that was really our industry. And, I guess to he much is given, much is required. And this was sort of nagging at me. And I wondered whether I could do more good in the world than that. And one story that stuck out to me was a guy named Chuck Feeney who built duty-free shops. And I might not have these numbers right, but when he sold, I think he went public at about $1 billion. He kept $5 million and put the rest in philanthropy. And these are the stories, these are rare stories, but I was inspired by that and thought, there's another chapter for me. And I do think that, donors and grantors, philanthropists get a lot of credit. But at the end of the day, we have pretty good and cushy lives. And really the only logical choice for somebody like me is to give it away while living and do the best we can with it. So
when you decided that you wanted to make change, find an opportunity where you could make a difference, why did you decide to focus on the issue of clean energy and climate change?
Well, I heard a guy named Bob Buford down in Dallas one time. He has a place called the Halftime Institute, and he's passed, but a great man. And he had this saying, "Go big or go home." And I was thinking about big ideas. And if you rewind back to my childhood, some of my best memories were with my father in the low country of South Carolina, hunting and fishing. And I've always been, as a conservative and a conservationist, somebody who cared deeply about the land and sort of the natural order of things. And I thought, maybe I've also followed climate and energy for a long time, way before it was partisan. And I thought, I think we can have a great economy and a great environment. I don't think that's a choice. And I think there's a place for a message in DC. And so we came to DC with that message, and we're still on that message today. And look, it's a global problem, and it's the most partisan problem we have. And a lot of times we fight over the science, but the reality is that the solutions are happening today. And as long as we focus on solutions, what we need to do to solve the problem, we can make a lot of progress.
So you just described it as one of the most partisan issues we face. And as a pollster, I see data all of the time about the extent to which our country is so divided, but also the fact that there are lots of places where voters are maybe not as far apart as the noise would have you believe. So you certainly didn't pick an easy issue in deciding that you wanted to focus on climate and clean energy and bringing Republicans to the table to find consensus. But I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what may be happening on the Hill, in the gears of government, that is giving you optimism. What's happening behind the scenes or is really getting put into place that is moving the ball forward on these issues where you've helped to bring Republicans to the table?
Right. Well, look, there have been some monumental bills in the last 3 years, starting with the Energy Act of 2020 that was signed by President Trump. And then we had the bipartisan infrastructure bill and IRA. And so we have incentives in place for really a transformation that is going to occur in our economic systems here and internationally. The money's there, the signals are there, and whether you're pro or con, sort of the train has left the station now, right? And that's exciting to me, because when I go to Houston and we bring Congress people down there and we talk to industry, and we got a $2 billion investment here and a $5 billion investment there, starts to add up. Companies like Exxon doing a deal with Nucor to bury carbon capture at scale. People are beating Exxon up, and I understand that, but they are the solution, right? That's a big company with big capital and big projects that are decarbonizing. And that's what I see when I see capitalism being, instead of our master, our slave, right? Which I think it is now. We are in a good position. And so, as my partner Rich Powell puts it, I think we have like 40 garden hoses that we need to unkink to get the flow going and make sure that these projects are out there and that government's working with industry to make all this happen. That's a lot of work, and it's a lot of detail, and it's going to keep us busy for a long time. But to me, it's an exciting challenge. And this country was built, in partnership with public and private enterprise. And I think we're in a good spot to do it now, but we've got to roll up our sleeves. It's hard work, and the sort of partisan softballs on both sides that are easier, that's not the answer, right? I feel like this is a time to get to work, and embrace our good old American values.
Well, my last question for you is, I have always loved getting an opportunity to be part of what you've done at ClearPath, to watch you sort of grow this organization, to have so much credibility on the Hill, and to be known as an organization that doesn't just talk, but actually does, and actually helps to put points on the board. What would your message be to anyone in this room tonight who is focused on a tough issue where there is a lot of division, they're trying to find common ground? How do you move the ball forward in divided times?
Well, listen, we're here tonight about collaboration. And the first thing I think you want to do when you collaborate with somebody is listen to them. Listen to them. In my business, we weren't necessarily the smartest people, but we were the best listeners. If you just listen to customers and ask them what they want, they usually tell you. And when we're trying to work with other people, the first thing that we did was, let's listen to the other side. Let's understand where they're coming from. We might not agree, but if we don't have that understanding, it's really hard to collaborate and really hard to move forward. So I would say, that's super basic and kind of cliche, but absolutely true. Starts with listening.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for sharing your insights, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keystone Leadership Award.
Thank you for all you do.